Welcome to Baseball and Whatever with your hosts Justin McElwee and Vince Jankowitz.
Alrighty, what's up everybody? There's Vinny, it's Justin, episode 94 of Baseball and Whatever. We are back. This week we're talking baseball, World Baseball Classic. We're going to go over projected lineups of the Cubs and White Sox because we are only a week away from the regular season starting, Vinny. Can you believe we've made it?
We sure have.
Vinny can believe it. All right, so we're going to go over that. I do have a little, I do want to do like a post-mortem on the World Baseball Classic. There were some interesting quotes, some interesting stuff that took place at the end there yesterday. Team Japan beat Team USA. And then we are going to dive into our whatever topic Vinny picked this week, best fast food places. I got to say, Vinny, this was a lot tougher than I thought. I had a hard time. I had like my number one right away.
Yeah, it was pretty difficult.
It was good.
I'll just leave it at that. It was difficult.
I liked it though. I wouldn't mind at some point, and I think we talked about this, maybe working in some other fast food stuff with different topics. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yep.
So overall though, stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of fun. But before we get that all situated, you can find us in a variety of ways. If this is your first time listening or watching us on YouTube, youtube.com/baseball and whatever. We're up to 152 subscribers, so thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. You can tweet us at baseball and what. Vinny's working overtime on the social media. We are almost at like, I think 1,050 followers now on that, so that's great. You can email the show, baseballandwhatever@gmail.com. Find us on all your podcast apps of choice. Apple, Spotify, Google, Anchor, Spreaker, Overcast, all those things. Leave us a review if you will. 5 stars would be preferable, but whatever you'd prefer. And then lastly, text us or leave us a voicemail at 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. All right, Vinny, we always start off the show with our episode of whatever we're on and the numbers of people that wore that in Chicago. So this week is no different. It's famous 94s. What team should we start with for people that wore 94?
We'll warm you up, and we'll start with the Blackhawks. Figure you can get at least somebody from there, right?
You're too kind. You're too kind. All right, so the two that I knew from the Blackhawks, number one, I think he played in 2007, maybe 2008. It was right around the time they were just starting to make the turn to be good again when Taves and Kane started, and that was center Yannick Perreault.
Good job. 2008.
2008, thank you. He was really good at face-offs to the point where sometimes they would trot him out there to win the face-off and then call him right back to the bench, which I don't know what that says about him or the team at the time, but that's what they would do. And then the other 94, I remember this was from when I was younger. I think I was in high school, maybe 03, 02, and that was Sergei Berezin, one season with the Hawks.
2003. Good job, Justin.
Go. I remember he was a former Maple Leaf, so the guys that played for the Hawks and Leafs, I always tried to keep an eye on. So those are the only ones I know. I'm guessing
there's one more.
There might have been a prospect from like a couple years ago.
2020.
Alec Regula.
Oh, he's on fire.
Only
had that soundbite.
He didn't really pan out. I know I should have. I don't have that loaded into StreamYard anymore. So yeah, there you go. That's all the Blackhawks I know. I can't think of any Cubs or Bears, so I'm gonna have to defer to you on this.
There's one Cubs player, Felix Herrera.
Oh yeah, he was a pitcher. Yeah, I remember him.
Yep, 2001.
Yep. All right, cool. Very cool.
That's it for the Cubs. That's no White Sox, no Bulls, and we have obviously a litany of Bears to get through. Is that the right word to use, litany, for
litany.
A lot?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Sock it to me, baby. What do we got for the Bears?
Okay, Robert Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
He's the franchise leading sack guy.
That's right. I remember when
sack getter.
He's a sack guy.
Yeah.
Big sack guy.
Oh yeah.
I do remember when they got him, everyone was excited, and then he didn't play that very well at first. And then he had the all-time sack record, and then they traded him, and that was the end of that. And I know he did not do good in Philly, right?
No, it's funny with Robert Quinn, his stats were kind of like up and down. He'd have a really good year like he had with Dallas, and then he signed with the Bears, had a bad year, had a really good year with the Bears, his second year, and then last year he did not do well. So yeah, he's kind of it's kind of an up and down roller coaster with him. So next year, I'm sure he's going to break out and probably take the NFL sack record. Who knows?
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt.
Other notable Bears: Leonard Floyd wore 94. Yes,
what a wonderful draft pick that was from with Ryan Pace, and I want to say he just got cut or released from the Rams. Does that sound right?
Cap casualty with the Rams, I think, or they're talking about doing it. But I saw his name was just mentioned recently in the news. I don't think anything's official yet. I think they're just speculating that he could be a casualty. I guess we'll find out here because I'm sure he'll be picked up. He's been playing pretty well with the Rams.
Okay.
Cornelius Washington, name sounds familiar.
Is he a lineman?
I think so.
I honestly don't know.
2013. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Defensive end with the Bears.
Okay.
Before him, Marcus Harrison.
No.
2008 and 2009. No, defensive tackle.
No.
I'm going to butcher this one, but I remember him. Brendan Badejo.
Yes.
What is it?
Badejo. Did
I get it right?
Or Badejo? Badejo? One of those two? Yeah.
Yeah, something. Yep.
Okay.
Linebacker. 2005, 2007. Before that, Keith Tractor Trailer.
Yes.
Was in 2001 to 2003. And John Derry in 94 to 96.
Okay. Not bad.
So,
all right. Well, there you go. There's our Chicago sports people that wore 94 for this week. We'll do 95 next week. It's going to get really difficult. I'm guessing we're like football players from here on out, and even hockey players are going to get slim now. And then Gretzky.
Yep.
No one wears Gretzky's number. So, all right. Well. We do have one.
Is that officially retired in the NHL, or is that
retired league-wide? Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Okay.
No one can wear 99. Actually, it's funny you bring that up. So I saw something on Twitter. They're like, "Do you think Gretzky's the best NHL player of all time?" And I'm like, "Why are we even having this discussion? If you took away every goal that man scored, he'd still have the most points in the league." And people want to debate whether or not he's the best of all time. Give me a break. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
If you took away all his goals, he'd still
lead the league in points in history.
And points is what? Goals and assists? Is that it? Or is there something? That's it? Mm-hmm. So he would, wow.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah. Yep,
Holy, that's very impressive.
Yes.
What if you took away all of his assists? Would he still be leading in
goals?
Points?
No.
Yeah.
If you took that away, just his goals alone would not be leading, no.
Okay.
No.
But still, that's kind of impressive, right?
That's really impressive. Yeah,
okay.
I completely agree. All right. We have one comment. Actually, this was something that Pretzel Vince sent in, and we forgot to add it to the outline last week. So, Vinny, would you like to take your dad's favorite songs of the 2000s?
Yes, Pretzel Vince writes in on favorite songs of 2000s. Number 5, Since You've Been Gone, Kelly Clarkson. Number 4, Fallen by Alicia Keys. Number 3, Landslide by the Chicks, or the Dixie Chicks as they were known back then. Alcohol by Brad Paisley, and Viva La Vida by Coldplay.
Wow. So, I would never have taken your dad as a Kelly Clarkson, Alicia Keys, or Coldplay fan. Maybe not a fan, but at least
wide variety.
It is. I give credit to him. Yeah, that is Viva La Vida is a great album, great song too. So, well done.
A bit overplayed during its time, I would say.
That's one thing I found is like these songs that get overplayed. I'm finally starting to go back to them years later, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot how good these songs were. Like Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls was a song I loved.
Yep.
And then it got way overplayed, and then now I like it again. So, did you know your sister hates the Goo Goo Dolls? I had no idea. She does not like them.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Interesting.
One of their songs came on the radio. I'm like, oh, isn't this a good song? And she goes, no, I can't stand them. I'm like, what? She goes, I didn't know you liked the Goo Goo Dolls. I'm like, we've been together for like 14 years. How did we not have this conversation? Anyway.
Learn something new every day.
She's keeping me on my toes. All right. We finally have some music to go along with our new segment, What's New With You? So, Vinny, hit the music. All right, let's get this thing started with the What's New With You segment.
How you doing?
Where Justin and Vinny give you their random thoughts and reviews on any TV, movies, or video games they saw this week, as well as their thoughts on just about anything.
What are you up to?
And of course, their great takes.
I love it!
Their bad takes.
That's terrible.
No, sir, I didn't like it.
And their hot takes.
Is it me, or does it smell like up dog in here?
What's up, dog?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
All right. I'm not going to lie. I had way too much fun making that last night. I finally figured out a way I can rip the video from certain websites without having to download it very easily. So it involves using Zoom and recording a screencast. All right. Anyway, if anybody wanted to know. So we got a couple things on the What's New With You segment. First off, Vinny, you have up on here The Recruit on Netflix. I do not know what The Recruit is, but tell me, indulge me.
That is a show that came out in 2022. I have no idea the exact month. I think it came out near the end of 22.
Okay.
But yeah, my wife Gretchen started watching it, and she told me that it was a good show, and we need to start watching it together, as she always does, because usually she'll go to bed and maybe put something on the tablet while I'm up working late. So I said, okay. So we started watching it. I think like 8 episodes long, and they're about an hour, half an hour, 10 hour, somewhere in that range. But it's about a CIA recruit, new, I guess recruit or new employee of the CIA. He works at the legal department for the CIA, and it's a thriller, but it's also got humor. It kind of shows the inner working, or I guess shows the inner workings. I mean, you can't really, no one really knows what goes on at the CIA, I'm sure. But it like depicts the inner workings of the office environment, which you would think like, oh, the CIA, they're all out to stop the terrorists and the bad guys and gather intel. No, everybody's in it for themselves in the show. So it's kind of funny. You got people that are paranoid. Yeah, it's a really good show. If you like, spy thriller type stuff, it's kind of like I would say maybe Jack Ryan with a little bit of The Office kind of mixed together.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's, I think, the best way I could describe it for someone. Just like if I had to tell you, Justin, about the show, it's kind of got a little bit of humor to it. It's got some seriousness, with the thrilling aspect part of it. But yeah, it was 8 episodes. I don't know if it's been renewed for a second season or not. I hope it does. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Pretty fast paced. So give it a watch, and yeah, let me know what you think.
I'll give it a look. I know now that I've finished up with Drive to Survive, I need something new to watch on Netflix. So
there you go.
Yeah, I'll give that a look. All right. Very good. Very good. You also finished season 2 of The Mayor of Kingstown, which is Jeremy Renner's show, right?
Yes, that was fantastic.
That?
That's on Paramount Plus. That was really good. Yeah. Have you seen that show or heard of that show?
I've heard of it.
So
I've seen clips of it, but I never watched it yet.
Yeah. So Jeremy Renner plays he's called the mayor. He's pretty much he helps facilitate like the inner workings of the prison life. He lives in a town that's pretty much the prison industrial complex.
Okay.
They have like multiple prisons there, men's and women's. And so, yeah, he's kind of like the go-to between the police, the prison guards, and the gangs in the city. So it's very high drama, not really a lot of any humor really in it. It's a pretty serious show. But yeah, it just finished up season 2. I don't think they're going to have a season 3 just because of his accident, unless they write him out of the show or something like that. I don't know. I mean, they could still have a 3rd season, I'm sure, but yeah, it wouldn't be the same without him. But it's a very good show. It ended in a way where they don't need to bring it back. They could. Because there are like a few open storylines, but they could end it after 2 seasons and it would be just fine. And I kind of want them to, because if they don't bring back Jeremy Renner, it's not going to happen.
It's not worth it.
It's kind of like when they, House of Cards, for obvious reasons, they didn't bring back Kevin Spacey. But the show just wasn't the same without him. For the type of person he is and was, like, he still made the show. I mean, his character made the show. So so if they don't bring Jeremy Renner back, I don't know if I'd probably be full in on the next season. I'd probably give it a shot, but probably wouldn't be in on it. So
all right, very good, very good. I've seen a few things. Besides Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, and I think I remember seeing The Hurt Locker, which I think he was the star in, which didn't. I remember how many people went crazy for that movie, and I saw it, and I was like, I don't know. I was also I was like maybe a freshman in college, senior in high school, so maybe it was lost on me. I don't know, but all right, cool. Well, I'll give that a look. All right, Vinny, we have some serious discussion here. Am I turning into a Swiftie?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
That's awesome. All right, so let me preface this by saying, no, I don't think I'm fully blown a Swiftie, but the last two songs that she released on the radio, I believe the one was, hold on, let me see if I can find them here. But the one is it Lavender Haze, I think, is being played on the radio right now. I kind of like that song, and I think it's well documented. I really like Anti-Hero. I don't like, I've heard a few of her older songs. I don't like when she was a country singer. That stuff was awful. But I don't know. If you like the last two songs that come out on an album, if that doesn't make you necessarily a fan, but I guess I'm on notice. I could be. This is how it starts.
Oh,
it's scary.
God, you're killing me. This is a sad day. Maybe we shouldn't have done this show. Maybe we should have just ended it. We should have just ended it a while ago.
We're so close to 100 episodes, and we're going to end it right before because I like Taylor Swift music now. So just 2 songs. I'm not going to a concert. I'm not going on Ticketmaster and spending thousands of dollars. Just 2 songs that I'm like, hey, that comes on the radio, and I'm like, that's a pretty good song. And I might have, even though no one buys music anymore, I might have bought them on iTunes too.
Oh, no.
Because I don't.
You even bought it? You gave her money?
She needs my help.
Oh. No, she
doesn't. She's doing fine. All right. And then last 2, I just want to say, if any parents out there, the sleep regression that takes place around 17 to 18 months is god awful. Holy cow, is that bad?
Uh-oh.
All right, well,
working.
That's all right.
I was going to say other breaking news. Water.
Other breaking news.
Wet.
Lawrence Fishburne can't tell us that it's breaking news. Yeah, so for about a week, Erica's going to say it was like 3 days. I think it was a week. It felt like a week. Maddie, oh boy. Maddie was waking up between, that can't be good. Maddie was waking up between like 1 to 4 and just screaming because she didn't want to sleep and didn't want to do anything. I think we might have figured it out that was maybe she's starting to want to drop her second nap at that time. So we stopped letting her nap in the afternoon after dinner because we were letting her nap for like 45 minutes after dinner, like around 5:30-ish.
Okay.
And since we've stopped doing that, she slept through the night the last 2 nights, knock on wood. Now, I just jinxed it.
Oh.
It also might have something to do with she's got a cold now, too. The kid is sick every week. It's the worst.
That's terrible.
Daycare is just... I love our lady that does our daycare, but man... Every week she's got a new cold. All right, so that's it I got there. The last thing we wanted to say is shout out to Peace, Love, and Baseball. Kelsey, host of the show, reached out to us. She is a Cardinals fan and asked if we could do it. So I hopped on there for about 45 minutes, I think, to an hour. We talked Cubs, Cardinals, baseball. We talked a little bit of 90s. I think Backstreet Boys and NSYNC comes up at one point. But Cubs fans, I know we are ingratiated to hate Cardinals fans. Not all of them are bad. She was normal, so
that's good. Cool. It was a very good interview. It was a good show.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
It was. Yeah, Kelsey was a lot of fun to talk to. We got to see. Maybe we'll have her on at some point. Maybe we can do a whatever topic with her. But yeah, give her a listen. Give her show a listen. Peace, Love, and Baseball. I think it's mostly Cardinals focused, but a lot of just MLB focus as well. And shout out to her for letting us collaborate on that one. All right, Vinny, we're going to see if the soundboard's working. Are you ready for the baseball drop?
Sure, let's do it.
All right.
Baseball.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of.
Taking a look at Chicago's two favorite teams and other happenings around the MLB.
It worked. All right, so Cubs. First thing I saw, did you see this story? Seiya Suzuki is working his way back from a strained oblique muscle, which from everything I've read can be very dicey because it's something that maybe doesn't heal properly and can kind of have longer lasting effects that trail on through the season. Apparently he was doing front flips in the during batting practice the other day. So he must be feeling good. So
Stretching it out.
I thought it was also pretty cool. We'll get to the WBC talk, but they also trotted out his jersey and were flying his jersey around after Team Japan won because he would have been on the team, which was pretty cool as well.
He would have been, although people were mistakenly thinking it was for Ichiro.
Yeah,
it's not like he's dead. He's not dead, is he?
No, he's still alive.
It would be something like you would do to like honor somebody that like had recently died. Like,
yeah,
there's no point to like bring out a jersey for him. Like, I know he's probably like the greatest,
Japanese
player to come out
yeah.
of Japan, before Shohei Ohtani now.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, he's not dead. Like, he wasn't going to be a part of the team in any aspect. So why are you bringing out a jersey? Like, why would you make that connection?
Like, I had to do a double.
And he always wears Ichiro too.
Yeah, he never
back,
wears Suzuki on the back. No, Ichiro. So yeah, that I had to do a double take because I'm like, oh, that is so cool that they did that for Seiya. And then I saw the people. Well, no, this is just for Ichiro. You're wrong. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. No, Ichiro didn't have anything to do with the WBC team this year, I don't think. And Seiya was on the team until he got hurt. So, I hope he gets back soon. I hope he has a healthy year because I feel like he is poised for like a breakout season. You saw glimpses and in moments last season where you're like, all right, he's gonna be good. It's just a matter of putting it all together now that he's getting acclimated to MLB pitching and things like that. So good on you, Seiya. Just please don't hurt yourself doing a front flip. All right. Since we don't really have a lot to talk about with spring training, we were going to go over the projected lineup. So these projected lineups are coming from RotoChamp. And here we go. Vinny, tell me if you like this lineup or not. Starting off at second base, we have Nico Horner. Left field, Ian Happ. Shortstop, Dansby Swanson. Batting cleanup, outfield, right field, I'm assuming. Trey Mancini. Center field at the fifth spot, Cody Bellinger. First base, Eric Hosmer. Third base, batting seventh, Patrick Wisdom. Okay, this one, I don't know who this is. At DH, Edwin Rios? Who the hell is Edwin Rios?
Oh, yeah.
Did they just pick him up?
Having a pretty decent spring. He's
okay,
a power bat.
Okay, well, they have him batting.
I want to say left-handed power bat.
That looks about right. And then lastly, number 9th, they have Tucker Barnhart batting 9th and catching. So, first glimpses at that lineup. What do you think? Do we have a winner, wild card, division? I don't know. What do you think with that lineup? Oh, and I can go over the pitching rotation as well if you like.
Sure, why not?
All right, pitching rotation. We know this was just announced the other day. Opening day pitcher will be Marcus Stroman. Second, Jamison Taillon. Third, Justin Steele. Number 4, Drew Smiley. And number 5, Hayden Wesneski. So there's your starting lineups and pitching rotation. Yeah, you got to see. And I know Kyle Hendricks said he was maybe 3 weeks behind where he would be now on a normal season. So
okay,
we'll see. But yeah, all right. I'm sorry. I'll stop interrupting. What do you want? Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was thinking, I mean that lineup's not bad. In my head, I was flip flopping Happ and Swanson. I don't know. I guess the new thing is your best hitter hits at 2 instead of 3.
Yeah, that's
what the new metrics are. Who was playing third base again?
Patrick Wisdom.
Okay, I don't know if he's fully healthy. I don't think injured.
He's fully healthy. I don't think
yeah, so if he's not healthy, I was thinking it's going to be your favorite player, Nicky Bats at third base.
I hope not. I hope
batting last. I had him there. Edwin Rios, was he playing DH? Was he the DH?
Yes, he was the DH. Yep.
Okay. I had Trey Mancini at DH, but I guess they probably put him there. And if he's playing right field, I guess that makes sense. And I also had Trey Mancini and Bellinger flip flopped. I had Bellinger in the cleanup and Mancini batting after him.
Okay.
And then I had Yan Gomes getting the start instead of Barnhart.
That's what I was thinking,
but I
too.
guess,
I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I was thinking the guy that's been there before, but I guess, I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't know. I kind of view Gomes and Barnhart kind of the same, even though Barnhart's younger. But I kind of like the same level as talent. So I guess we'll see.
I would agree.
Either way.
The only thing I think, going back to what you said too about Patrick Wisdom, if he's injured, the only thing that worries me is instead of seeing Nicky Batts, I would like to see Christopher Morel at third. I know he got a little bit of time at third base, a little bit of time at second, a little bit of time at short and center field. So, I mean, if I had to pick between him and Madrigal, I'd take him. But there was also, I'm looking up right now with Edwin Rios, it said there's a chance that he might platoon at third as well if Wisdom is not ready to go. So I did not know Edwin Rios played third base. I don't know a lot about Edwin Rios, but we'll see what happens. It could be an exciting season. I know on the Peace, Love, and Baseball show, they asked me who was going to be the division winner, and I sadly had to say the Cardinals. So definitely won't be the Cubs. Yes,
Justin, that was embarrassing.
I
can't
know.
believe you said that.
I'm a realist. But I was impressed. I did get a few shout outs from Cardinal fans on Twitter saying that, as a Cubs fan, he wasn't so bad. So that kind of made me happy.
That's because you pandered to him with that Cardinals thing. I cringed at that, Justin. That was it's the Cardinals division. It's got to be right. Like, come on, Justin, put a little bit of. You could have just done the Cardinals. They kind of overachieved last year. Are they really going to get another MVP performance out of Goldschmidt? They don't have their catcher anymore. You guys are stuck with Wilson Contreras, and he's terrible backstop. You didn't knock down Wilson Contreras at all. I mean, really, you were pandering for the Cardinals fans to love you.
No. I don't need Cardinals fan love. But I mean, realistically, if this team makes the wild card and is over 500, I will be ecstatic. I will be through the moon. To the moon. We'll see what happens from there. So that's all I got for the Cubs. You got anything else?
No, that's about it.
All right, let's shift gears. We're going to talk White Sox. Here is the White Sox starting rotation. Let's see. Okay, so projected lineup for the White Sox. We have at shortstop, leading off, Tim Anderson. Batting second in the outfield, center field, Luis Robert. The big free agent acquisition, batting third, playing left field, Andrew Benintendi. As the DH, but doesn't want to be DH, the cleanup hitter, Eloy Jimenez. Third base, this guy got hurt, though, at the World Baseball Classic, so we'll see if he starts. Batting fifth, Yoan Moncada. Playing first, batting sixth. This is why I'm not a broadcaster. Batting sixth, playing first, Andrew Vaughn. Batting seventh at catcher, Yasmani Grandal. Outfield, Oscar Colas in right field. And batting ninth at second base, Elvis Andrus. Now, following up with their starting pitching rotation, we have Dylan Cease as the opening day starter, Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito, Mike Clevenger, and now Michael Kopech as the fifth starter. Vinny, immediate thoughts to the White Sox projected lineup.
This is a solid lineup. I don't know. I'm so old school, I would flip-flop Benintendi and Luis Robert.
Yes.
I would put Robert at third, but that's just me and my old school thinking. But yeah, that lineup's solid. On paper, it's really
great.
solid. If you would think, man, that's gonna play really well. That's a postseason lineup. They're gonna go deep in the postseason. Even the pitching rotation, again on paper looks really good. But what are you gonna get? Are you gonna get 2021 Lance Lynn? Or are you going to get 2022 Lance Lynn? Are you going to get 2020 Lucas Giolito? Or are you going to get 21 and 22 Lucas Giolito, which weren't that good? So yeah, on paper you think this team can do it, but we saw last year that they couldn't. And if they can stay healthy, that's a big thing. I know I just saw Yohan Moncada just said that he's fine. He said it was just a day thing, and he felt better the next day. So, we'll see. I'm assuming he's going to start third base if he's already saying he's fine. So, the lineup looks good to me. You could pencil in those guys pretty much anywhere. I feel like, they all seem like they can hit. If they can hit to their average and not have career worst years like they had last year. A lot of them did. So yeah, it should be an interesting year for the Sox, to say the least.
All right. Well, there you have it for the White Sox. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think, like, over the last 30 years. Like, I remember as a kid, you batted your best hitter cleanup, even though they were the fourth spot. And then it was, no, bat them third because you want to get them more at bats. And now it's bat them second, like get them as close to the start of the game as you can. So it's crazy to see the evolution. But yeah, we'll see. I know the MLB, there was a leak that they were going to make some changes to the pitch clock rules. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the only thing they added was there was maybe a few more timeouts for the batters and pitchers that were added. But other than that, I did see a stat that they showed that I think it was per every 300 at bats during spring training, there's only been one problem or one forced strike or one forced ball. So it's amazing how quickly the players adapted to this and got used to it. I know people were freaking out that first week when there were spring training games ending with, walks, and, it's just like, dial it back. It's going to be okay. But I'm glad. I thought for sure when I saw that leak, I'm like, Rob Manfred's going to screw this up and change everything again. And thankfully they kind of used they had the ability to reserve themselves a little bit. So, I don't know, a week from now, baseball will be back. How exciting is that? Well, a week and a half from now, baseball will be back, but pretty exciting. That's
really exciting. Yeah.
I'm thinking next week we might need to do our prediction show for the we'll see. I don't know. We can talk off the air, but all right. Well, last baseball thing I have is I just wanted to kind of talk about the World Baseball Classic. It ended last night. I was texting with you and Greg last night. I was really excited to watch it. I'm like, it's the championship. It's Team USA, Team Japan, probably the two teams. If I'm going to follow any of the teams, those are the players I'm going to know the most. I had a really hard time getting into it. And granted, I know it was on FS1, which not everybody has, but I do, so I was thankfully able to watch it. But I think what I'm starting to think the problem was the broadcasting team for the World Baseball Classic final was absolutely awful. Oh my God.
Really? Wasn't Jason Benetti doing that?
He did not do the final. Final. It was Joe Davis, who, I'll be honest, I don't know who Joe Davis is. I don't know where he came from, but him and John Smoltz. John Smoltz, excellent pitcher, great starting pitcher, great reliever as a closer. But his whole shtick when he broadcasts, I'm kind of done. I don't know how you feel if you've had to listen to any John Smoltz games in the past, but
not really.
You're doing yourself a favor.
They play him on 670 to score and make fun of him a lot.
They do. So one of the things he said, and again, I know there's a tremendous amount of pressure, but you're being paid a lot of money. At one point, and this is on Twitter, I think we might have retweeted this, or I retweeted this on our Twitter account. The broadcasting team of Davis and Smoltz, at one point, Smoltz literally says, and I'm almost verbatim here, in order for Team USA to win this game, they're going to need to score more runs. It's like, no shit, Sherlock.
Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
Lawrence Fishburne agrees. So, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, come on. Do we need to, like, again, pandering here. We don't need to pander to the lowest common denominator. Like, I think people know, as you've said in our former open, the team that gets the most runs is going to win the game. So, I don't know. I feel like he's kind of got a holier than thou. Like, again, great, amazing pitcher. I cannot take that away from him. But it's like, you don't need to remind everybody every couple innings that, you were a great pitcher. Like, we know. You're in the Hall of Fame. We know. So that's all I got on John Smoltz. But if you didn't watch, Team USA lost to Team Japan 3-2 in 9 innings. The reason this was such a big deal, though, was that the final at-bat of the game came down between Shohei Ohtani of the LA Angels of Anaheim against the captain of the team, Mike Trout. So this was the first time they ever faced each other in a game that actually mattered. If you consider it mattering, that's up for you to decide. And it literally went to a full count, and he struck Trout out. So that was really cool to see. But what I don't like is you have all these baseball dinosaurs coming out, getting all upset, saying this wasn't a big deal. No one cared about Trout versus Ohtani. And I think they're completely insane. Like, I thought that, as somebody who didn't really watch it a lot, that's like a storybook ending. Like, how cool is that?
Yep.
Arguably the two best players in the league going against each other in the final at bat of teammates of the final at bat of the entire classic. Yeah, it blows my mind that the two greatest players in the league play on a crappy team, and they're still bad. But
can't make the playoffs.
That's an Angels problem. That's not a Shohei or Mike Trout problem. So, one of the quotes I pulled that I thought was kind of silly was, if you're familiar with Mike Mad Dog Russo, he used to be on the MLB Network. He's on ESPN's First Take now. Everything I've read about that guy is he is the biggest douche knob, yes, around. I know I can't remember which beat writer it was for the Cubs. He came into the Cubs press box and was screaming about how he wanted to watch a basketball game or something, and it's like, this is a working environment for writers. Like, get the hell out of here if you're not going to sit and be quiet. Like, we don't give a damn. Like, he was wanting to know where the TV was because he wanted to watch a basketball game. So well documented, kind of an a-hole, kind of an idiot. But he was on there on ESPN this morning, and he said he saw newspapers with the headline that this was an epic at bat, and this angered him so much. And he said, this was so stupid. This is not epic. This means nothing. It's pointless. This is stupid. Why are we doing this? And then he said, if you want an epic at bat, you need to go back to Gibson versus Eckersley in '88, or you need to go back to at bats that Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle had. Now, this is why baseball has a fan problem, because 88 was 34 years ago. Why are we equating
long time?
Long time. And then Mantle, I mean, your dad, my dad weren't even around to see him play. So sure, you can feel that way, but again, this is just that antiquated baseball dinosaur, that has these horrible takes. And I mean, and again, First Take on ESPN is a show that needs to have like forced debate to generate ratings. So I'm sure some of that is the case, but it's like, get this guy off the air. He is awful. So that's it. That's it. So
I mean, talk to the players and tell them that it's not important. All those players cared about playing in those matches. There were plenty of fans watching. I mean, heck, the ratings for that were, I'm assuming, through the roof and probably better than most MLB playoff games. Yeah. I don't know why you would want to die on that kind of hill where you're saying that it doesn't matter. Like, clearly it does matter to a lot of people. Maybe not you, but that doesn't matter. It matters to other people. And I couldn't watch any of the games which is
disappointing itself.
Yeah, like, I would have loved to have watched that last game, or have it on, even games that were, of countries I weren't going to follow. Like, it still would have been nice to have those games on during the tournament, but I couldn't. But yeah, it mattered to a lot of people, not you and maybe not your dinosaur friends, but it mattered to some people. So yeah, those people saying it didn't matter and didn't care, that's just ridiculous.
The only other thing I'll say, two last thoughts about the World Baseball Classic, and then we can get to our whatever segment, was Jeff Passan, who is arguably probably my favorite national beat writer for baseball. I think he nails it, and maybe it's because he's our generation, if you want to get into that whole thing. But he took this quote, and this was an excellent quote. The story itself was free and unlocked on ESPN because he writes for them. But he said, here we go. It's easy to point out the flaws in the WBC. The timing isn't great with starting pitchers not stretched out and thus less likely to commit to such intense competition out of fear of hurting themselves. The injuries, like New York Mets closer Edwin Diaz suffering a torn patellar tendon, celebrating Puerto Rico beating the mighty Dominican Republic, and Houston second baseman Jose Altuve breaking his thumb on an errant Daniel Bard fastball, are fuel for skeptics whose tanks otherwise grow emptier by the day. What they don't understand, what they actively choose not to understand, is that baseball is more than just Major League Baseball. It is truly a game for the world, from the U.S. to Japan to Cuba to Mexico to the Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico to Venezuela and beyond. And the WBC has filled a vacuum that for too long existed, bringing together different baseball cultures and allowing them to meld together into something bigger and better. And that's, like, he nailed it. It's not about the MLB. Yep. It's about bringing together all these different countries that play baseball. Yes, baseball, you can say, is America's pastime. It definitely isn't America's current time, I would argue. But yes, that may be the case. But there are other places where this game has grown. Heck, Great Britain winning a game. They were talking about how that's going to do so much for baseball in Great Britain. Team Mexico getting far, and how soccer is the predominant sport there. But this is going to help. Like, that's what this is for. And that is why, people like Chris Russo, they can't see that because they're only focused on here. And that's not what it's for. Like you said, like, I want to say one of the Team Japan games, or maybe it was Team Korea, had like 65 million people worldwide watch the game. That's insane. Yeah. That's insane. So, I did think it was funny, and I was curious what your take on this. This is the last thing I have. Is A-Rod during the postgame was quoted as saying, "Japan plays a beautiful brand of baseball, a 90s brand of baseball," to which David Ortiz replied, "They don't worry about analytics. U.S. baseball needs to get back to the core of the game." Agree, disagree? Do you think that's just them trying to give hot takes? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was kind of a dumb
I guess
thing.
I can't really say because I haven't
watched.
Wasn't able to watch it, but I mean, they're not using any analytics whatsoever when they come up with their lineups. I guess I
find that hard to believe.
It's kind of a weird take. I guess I don't know. It's kind of, I guess, what's so different between, I guess, the shifting and stuff like that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's kind of a weird 90s baseball. I mean, were they taking steroids? Is that what they're alluding to? Japan took steroids?
It must be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird decade to say that.
Yeah.
To say that they should be, everybody should be modeling that, because if you say 90s baseball, everybody's going to think steroids. No one's going to be like, oh, it was great because, you had all these, great players, and no, you had steroids, and that's what a lot of people will think of. So a weird decade to pick from, I think. It's just
like a weird hill to plant your flag on, like I don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is Alex Rodriguez for you. So I'm not surprised. And David Ortiz, somebody who went from hitting like 7 to 8 home runs as a Twin and then magically found his power stroke. Anyway, I digress. All right. I got nothing else for baseball, Vinny. If you got anything else, feel free, or we can jump to whatever and start talking about some fast food.
Let's go to whatever.
All right.
Now it's time for whatever.
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 Whatever you want. Whatever I want.
Whatever, dude. Irrelevant. Whatever, dude.
All right. Vinny, take it away.
Welcome to Whatever Baseball and Whatever. This week we are counting or ranking. God, I keep saying counting down, but we are ranking our top 5 fast food joints. This was a lot of fun. I know I looked at some of the write-ins from our listeners, and they're definitely, I put the criteria, I don't know about you, Justin, I put the criteria that the fast food had to be a chain, and it had to have a drive-through. So you couldn't, I couldn't put down one of my favorite fast food places that would, we don't talk about drive-thrus, and that would be Quick Trip.
The gas station?
The gas station. Yes.
Oh, Vinny, no.
No, Justin. Quick Trip for gas station food. Their hot food is fantastic, and they take their preparation very seriously. Yes, their kitchens need to be immaculately clean. They have to be wearing garments, the hair nets and stuff like that if they are going to be preparing the food. Yes, Quick Trip is fantastic, but did not make my list because it does not have a drive-through. So, Justin, I'll let you start off. What is your number 5 fast food place?
My number 5, this is just the standby, kind of the cop-out answer, and that is just give me a basic McDonald's. I think it's not necessarily one that I'm like, man, I have a taste for McDonald's. Now, as a kid, I loved McDonald's, but I think, like I remember on Fridays, my mom would pick us up from school for lunch because we got to go home for lunch at our school, which is like so not even a thing anymore, I don't think anywhere. But she would pick us up. We'd run to the McDonald's down the street from our school. We'd get lunch. That was our Friday like celebration, and then we'd go back to school. But like, not good for you, not healthy for you. But I feel like if I'm in the mood for something quick and cheap, give me a basic cheeseburger. Give me the McChicken. The McChicken is a very good menu item. I'm a big fan. It used to be on the dollar menu, which I don't even know if they have a dollar menu anymore.
They don't. They have a value meal or value menu or whatever.
Okay, so that. But also now that breakfast is pretty much all day. I never used to get McDonald's breakfast, but unless we were going on like a road trip and we'd stop somewhere in the morning, and now I do. But give me a McDonald's hash brown. Good stuff. Give me one of my favorite things that they've added, the sausage McGriddle. I love me a sausage McGriddle. I could eat those every day. I don't, but I could. And then, once I got a little bit older, I feel like I'm digging deep here. I got into what was it? Quarter pounder with cheese. I do like the quarter pounder with cheese.
Okay.
Where do you stand on Big Macs, Vinny? I never was a fan.
I
do much for me.
like them. The extra bun in there, glucose. Dr. Condom writes in, I like McDonald's sausage egg burritos on my days off. Yes, those are fantastic. You get the salsa, you put that in there. Those are really good. I'm a big fan of those. But the Big Mac is good. What I like to do, Justin, and you'll probably find this horrid and disgusting, but I like to take a McDouble, or a double cheeseburger now. They don't make. Yep, I like to take that, and I like to take the McChicken and combine them into one sandwich.
Oh, that's tempting.
It is fantastic. It is something I used to do in college. Obviously, after a night out, it was the perfect hangover food. And yeah, you would do that, or if you wanted to, then maybe between the two sandwiches, puts a layer of fries in there, just to really top it off and to get really fat about it. That is what I like to do with. That's kind of my go-to at McDonald's if I'm not doing breakfast. If it's breakfast, it's a sausage egg McMuffin and it's 2 of the breakfast burritos. Or the small, not the big burritos, the little small
ones, the bite-sized
value ones. Yep.
That sounds amazing. The chicken and McDouble. I think though I would just feel so guilty because I wouldn't want to eat anything the rest of the day because I'd be like, oh man, that was a lot. But
but it's still really
that's
good,
a Justin hang up though. That's not a real problem. So
that is,
it sounds amazing. That's a Justin problem. And also like I wish I had the metabolism I had in college. That would make it. I would be way on board more too if I had that. But and then Shamrock shakes, regular shakes. Give me a vanilla shake any day. What about you got to give me a McFlurry
the shake
though.
machine's always broken.
It's always broke. Yeah, it is. And I've read some things about how those things don't get cleaned, which I try so hard not to think about it when I go there to get a shake. So you
can't think about stuff like that, or
if you're already eating at McDonald's, you don't even eat. That's the least of your problem, probably.
Yeah.
And I still remember when they introduced McFlurries. Give me an Oreo McFlurry, and I am golden. I love.
They're so tiny now. You can't get like a normal sized one. They're like,
no, you can't.
What are they thinking with that? It's like bite size.
Well,
I eat 3 scoops of that, and I'm done.
It's done.
Where's the rest of it? They used to be in a normal cup.
Ever since they got rid of the red roof, and Ronald is nowhere to be found these days. I don't know where he's at. Rehab, maybe? I don't know. But
probably.
Prison, rehab. Ever since he went away, and the Fry Kids, and the Hamburglar, and Grimace, and whatever that bird thing was, I don't remember what her name was. I don't know. I feel like they went downhill. I used to love the McDonald's commercials with Ronald. Talking to the kid who was sad, and I don't know what it says about cheering them up by offering them fast food, but
Hey, Cheer me up.
And now they're like, all the buildings are like, they've redone them all. So they're just like perfectly rectangle. Like everything is the same, similar to a Walgreens style. It's very disappointing. So McDonald's, you're on notice. Get your stuff together. But that's my number 5.
Okay, solid one. Now, growing up, were you a bigger breakfast person? Like you like breakfast more, or did you like their lunch, the burgers and stuff more?
No, we never were up early enough on the weekends to get breakfast. Okay. So it was mostly more of a treat of like, hey, we're going on vacation and we're getting McDonald's breakfast because we're waking up at like 5 a.m. to drive to Florida, so you're asleep for most of the trip. You know what I mean? Or most of the drive. So yeah, that was pretty much the only time.
Okay. Dr. Condom writes in, he says, gas stations and 7-Eleven food is pretty good. My man right there. Yep.
See, I get nervous about that because one of the bands I played in high school, after we were practicing one night, we walked to the 7-Eleven down the street from this kid's house, and I just got a Slurpee because give me a pina colada Slurpee any day. Those are the best flavors. But they all got hot dogs that were sitting in the rollers. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But and now keep in mind, this is like 11 o'clock at night. So how long have those things been sitting in the rollers? So they got them. I did not.
Probably since 4.
Probably. So I just want to say the drummer was the smart one because the guitarist and the bassist both got hot dogs and they got food poisoning that night. So that's my reason why I don't eat food from those places.
Okay. Well, Justin,
and the pina colada Slurpee is the best. I'm not even going to argue that. It is, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay. Well, we don't need to get in a Slurpee argument, but I will say, Justin, the next time you are in Wisconsin visiting your parents and you go to a Quick Trip, please go in and get yourself a hot sandwich from there and let me know what you think.
I will admit,
they are really good.
There is literally a Quick Trip like a block from my parents' house, and my dad loves their hot sandwiches, and they love their coffee. And I think one time I got
their coffee's fantastic.
Yes, yeah.
If you I know you're not a big coffee guy, and I will say this: you get their Highlander Grog roast, you get that one, and if they have mint, like a mint syrup or whatever,
I just bought some mint coffee creamer. Okay.
If you put a little mint in there, I was eating spearmint double mint gum while I was drinking that, but it tasted, I didn't put any sugar or cream in it, but it tasted like an Andes thin mint, or not Andes, or the thin mint cookie from Girl Scouts. But that's what it tasted like when I was I had mint gum in my mouth and I was drinking their coffee, and the combination tasted like a thin mint. So get yourself a breakfast sandwich from there. I recommend their.
My dad loves those.
The sausage egg their version of the sausage egg McMuffin is just sausage egg on an English biscuit.
Yeah.
Your dad, and man, he is such a good man. And then you get yourself that Highlander Grog coffee and put a little. I'm guessing they probably have like a mint syrup or something like that. You could dabble in there, put a little bit in there, and probably some sugar and some cream for yourself as well, Justin, because I know you don't like your coffee black.
Just cream.
Okay, and have that, and let me know what you think of it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So
next time I'm out that way, I will definitely give it a look.
Yes. All right. My number 5. Moving on to
yes, I was saying we're only at number 5. Holy shit! Yeah.
Right. My number 5 is Taco Bell. I haven't had that in a while, I will say, but that used to be like my go-to place in high school because it was so cheap. A cheesy bean and rice burrito was like less than $1 back in the day.
Yes.
Their steak quesadillas are phenomenal. I think it's steak quesadilla. That used to be what I used to like because I wasn't a big, when I was before high school, like wasn't into like the spice of like Mexican food. But yeah, I outgrew that once I realized how delicious it was. But yeah, cheesy bean and rice burritos, their quesadillas, really anything is good there. And then add on the sauce. I know the fire sauce. I used to get packets of that in college. We would, I worked for like a office supply delivery for the campus. So we would, in the college vehicle, we would go off campus at Western and go to the Taco Bell, get a Baja Blast, and then we'd get packets of the fire sauce and just eat the fire sauce because we were poor college kids and couldn't afford the Taco Bell. So we just get the fire sauce and eat that, and it was almost the same as like eating the Taco Bell, which probably at this time when they were using the not real meat, it probably was essentially like eating Taco Bell. But
the meat,
Taco
the
Bell,
gym mats, yeah,
exactly. Taco Bell is my number 5.
That's
I'm guessing, Justin, you're not a big Taco Bell fan.
You know what? I don't mind it, but going back to my dad, think of my dad who doesn't like to try new things. That was a little too extreme for him when he's McDonald's is cheeseburger plain, just cheese, no, nothing else. So
yeah.
In high school, my one buddy that I played ice hockey with, he was a pretty big Taco Bell guy. We would always stop, and I wouldn't usually get anything just because I didn't know what was good. I occasionally would get the Nacho Bel Grande because I like nachos. It was okay. Nothing against it. The cinnamon twists, whatever those are called, those are always good. You can't go wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, I can probably count on 2 hands how many times I've eaten from Taco Bell in my entire life. I don't know if that's a lot or not a lot. Probably not a lot, right? So
not a lot.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's fine if someone said, "Hey, I'm gonna go grab some Taco Bell for dinner. Would you like some?" I'd say, "Sure, yeah, give me some type of soft shell or something, and I'll eat it. You know, it'll be good." So yeah, good pick, Vinny.
Nice. All right, what's your number 4, Justin?
All right, my number 4, this is a south side of Chicago standby, but I'm looking on Yelp, and apparently the one that I used to go to, actually the 2 that I used to go to, look like they've closed because they sold to a different ownership. My parents and my family actually knew the original owners, so that's why we would go there occasionally. But I remember did you guys do hot lunch days in your grade school, or was it everyday hot lunch for you?
Every day,
like where they would order food. They would order food from like a restaurant for you guys.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
In Catholic school, it was every Tuesday they would get Pizza Hut.
Nice.
I'm
okay.
thinking it's Tuesday is sticking out in my mind, but I think it was like every Tuesday they would get Pizza Hut. And when I went to public school, they'd never had anything like that.
Okay. So once a month they would send out the thing. They're like, all right, we're gonna order food from this restaurant nearby, and you could order food. And those were like the few days my sister and I would stay for lunch. Otherwise, we would always go home. And I remember our school ordered from this place, and then I would go there occasionally when I could drive. And that is Junior's Hot Dogs. So anybody that lives on the south side knows of Junior's Hot Dogs. They do have a drive-through, so it meets your drive-through requirement. They have 3 or 4 locations in the south suburbs. Their hot dogs were so good, and as a kid, I was a very picky eater. I'm not as picky now. Well, but I've gotten a lot better. Think about when you first met me compared to now. I wouldn't eat turkey. I wouldn't eat.
Do you eat turkey still?
I like.
Do you even eat
turkey wraps?
Yeah, but what about turkey at Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I'll eat it now. Yeah, I didn't
okay.
like 15 years ago. I wouldn't eat it now.
Okay,
but I've gotten better. But anyway. Great hot dogs. That was my first attempt at like the Chicago dog, because I had never known that was a thing when I was little. Because when I was little, I was really weird about hot dogs. They had to be cooked a certain way, and I didn't like them boiled. But Junior's, I believe, steamed them. So steamed hot dogs, just so good. Get some sport peppers, some of the neon green relish, a little bit of mustard, some celery salt. Really good. I remember. Your sister and I went when we were dating, and she got food poisoning from there. I think from their cheese fries.
Oops.
And she did not faze her. She was ready to get more in a couple months. So like,
really?
Yeah. So for you to get food poisoning, like I still can't eat hard shell tacos because of a time I got sick from them. But to be able to get food poisoning and then still be willing to go back and get something from that place, it's got to be pretty good. That also might be why a lot of the locations closed after they switched owners, because maybe the food quality was going downhill a little bit.
Down.
But that is my number 4, Junior's Hot Dogs. They had one in Burbank, one in Oak Lawn. There's one in Tinley now. There's one more, but I don't remember where it was at. So there you go.
Nice. Good number 4. Interesting. Nice local joint,
place.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. My number 4 is Culver's. Big Wisconsin chain here.
That was my number 3.
That's your number 3. All right. I guess we can both talk about this. But yeah, I love Culver's. Their burgers are good. I wish they were a little bit bigger. It is a little bit pricey, but it is great meal from start to finish. The the burger, the fries, and then you get yourself a nice concrete mixer to fill in the cracks of the food sitting in your stomach. It is delightful. Culver's is very good. High quality fast food.
That's not why they call it a concrete mixer, is it?
No, but that's what what me and my wife always say.
Okay,
we always,
all right.
Usually at the end of the day, if we don't even have Culver's, we're like, should we run out and get some concrete mixers and fill in the cracks? That's just the joke that we say.
Gotcha.
Maybe they should start using that.
They should. Culver's, get in on this. Let's go.
Right?
Yeah, I completely agree. That's why it's my number 3. The food is really good. The cheese curds are great. The chicken sandwiches, they're like grilled chicken is really good for a fast food place. My favorite thing though, and I don't get it as much now because I feel like I know it's not healthy for me, and that is the mushroom Swiss burger. Oh my God, that is a jam.
Very good.
There. Something else I would have never eaten as a kid, but mushroom and Swiss is excellent. Concrete mixers are good. The chicken tenders are good. Also, Vinny, do you know, is there any truth when I'm coming up to Wisconsin to either visit you guys or visit my parents, we drive by the Culver's near Edgerton, I believe? Is that truly
Edgerton.
the world's largest Culver's? Because they proclaim that they are the world's largest Culver's.
Yes, it is. I mean,
it's big.
There's not too many. I think they're in Wisconsin, and then I think Arizona and Florida, and
Illinois.
then a little bit in northern Illinois area. I know Freeport. We had one in Freeport, so it was like I didn't realize how rare it was to actually have one of those. Yeah, I mean, I was lucky growing up having that because they moved in, I think, right around, when I was in junior high or something like that. So, yeah, to me, it was like one of those things like, oh, yeah, it's a newer chain. But I was like, oh, yeah, it's probably everywhere. It's probably in Chicago. And it came out way later in Chicago area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even, I don't even know if it's in Chicago proper.
I don't know if it's in Chicago proper, but yeah, like you said, like I remember being in high school or maybe high school or college, and we got a Culver's in Oak Lawn, and then we got there's a Culver's out in New Lenox, which is the town over from where we're at now. So like they're definitely expanding in the suburbs. I don't know if I've ever seen a Culver's in the city of Chicago though. We'd have to see if somebody write in and let us know. I don't think so either, but give them time. They'll bring their cheese curds and they got to fill in the cracks in Chicago.
Got to. City can't afford to do it.
No, that's a whole nother thing. All right, so that's my number 3. That was your number 4. Do you want to take over and go back to your number 3?
Yep, I'll just go right to my number 3. And my number 3 is, and I know it might be a little controversial, but I know that there is one that does have a drive-through because it's in Monona, Wisconsin. That is Qdoba. There's a Qdoba with a drive-through, so I don't know if it's probably not very common because you don't see it too much. But yes, I can take pictures and show that it does have a drive-through. But Qdoba, because it is great food, even if it was up against Chipotle standoff, it would be heads and shoulders above Chipotle for me. I don't get the appeal of Chipotle when Qdoba is so much better. They have so much more variety. You don't have to pay for the guacamole. I know Chipotle, the last time I was in Chipotle, they charged for it, but Qdoba doesn't charge for guacamole where Chipotle did or used to. They also have queso sauce, which Chipotle, from what I know, they don't. So yes, Qdoba is great. I absolutely love that. That is our go-to for Mexican food.
I think that's a good
I should
pick.
say when we're not getting like Mexican restaurant food,
right, authentic,
like fast food. Yeah. So that's
I would say if you told me, all right, Qdoba or Chipotle, we're gonna go get dinner, I would definitely pick Qdoba over Chipotle, and I don't know why. I have nothing against Chipotle. I like their burrito bowls, but yeah, Qdoba is definitely. I don't know if it's just better ingredients or what, but the queso sauce is so
bigger
good.
variety.
Maybe bigger variety. I love the queso sauce. But yeah, I think that's a really good pick. We used to have one in Oak Lawn. Well, it might still be there. I don't know. But that one did not have a drive-through, so it was a pain in the butt to get to because it was sandwiched between what was it sandwiched between? A Starbucks and a Potbelly's. So you literally had to park, get out, walk, and I'm like, forget this. I just want something quick. So, but yeah, that's a solid pick, Vinny. I like it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Justin. Number 2.
All right, my number 2. I don't think this is a pretty controversial take, but and man, I used to love the commercials when when the owner was still alive, and that is Wendy's. Good old Dave Thomas. I don't get to go to Wendy's too often. We do have a Wendy's probably like 15 minutes from here. I stopped by the one day and picked myself up a Frosty, but give me a Frosty. Good.
Yep.
As a kid, the square patties were just so cool. I don't know why, and
I know. I liked them too.
Loved them. But the main thing for me at Wendy's is the spicy chicken sandwich. It is so good. It's mouth-watering. I'm thinking about it right now. But it's so good. As somebody who loves spicy stuff now, because as a kid I didn't. That is my go-to thing when I go there. I don't remember the last time I had a burger from Wendy's. It's always spicy chicken. But I remember the chili was decent. Do you remember as a kid when Wendy's everything came in the yellow cups? Like, I just remember that being so cool. I don't know why. They had a salad bar for a while. I never got the salad bar because I didn't like that.
I hate
salad.
The thing
I like it now. I eat it every day for lunch now. I'm all grown up.
Look at you.
I know. No more. I had a peanut butter sandwich today, but because I ran out of lettuce. But the other thing I loved about Wendy's, and this doesn't pertain to the drive-through aspect, but in the Wendy's buildings might still have it. I don't know. But do you remember like in the 90s, all the Wendy's that were built, they had like the sunroom area where it was like the front where like the windows went up to the ceiling and it like was very bright and like just airy. I don't know. I loved that about Wendy's.
I don't recall that.
All right. Well, if you Google Wendy's,
but you know what?
From the 90s,
maybe I'm trying to think of the one that was in Freeport. That might have had that. I'm drawing a blank, but I have to. They've changed it. It's been a while, so yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know we had 2 in Freeport. One didn't, from what I remember, but I think one of them did have that little sunroom that you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, it's silly and lame, but I loved it. It was always in the front of the building, but anyway.
And very homey feel to it. Yes.
Dave Thomas worked hard to make it a very comforting place to get your fast food. And Frosties. Exactly. You can't, and you know whose ice cream machine is never broken? Wendy's. McDonald's. I'm looking at you. So
again.
There you go. Again.
Yeah, and nothing beats dipping your fries in the Frosty. Too,
that was a beautiful thing. It still is. It still is. Their fries,
over salted fries.
Yes, and I want to say
they paired very well with that Frosty.
They changed their fry formula, I believe, because I remember a while back, was it last year? There was a bunch of commercials about it, but I have not had their fries in probably 5-6 years, so I don't know what's changed. But yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's my number 2, though. As a kid, that was another one on long road trips. It was like, all right, kids, we're gonna get McDonald's for breakfast down the street, and then about 12 hours in, when we stop for dinner, we're gonna get Wendy's. And it was like, whoa!
There you go.
There wasn't a Wendy's that was, not within a few miles from where I grew up, so it took a little bit longer. So it was a bigger deal. But there you go.
Nice, that's a good one. Yeah, the square patties always were appealing to me as well.
Yes, and I don't know why.
What it was about them. But yeah, and you know what? That kind of segues into my number 2, square patties, and this is White Castle.
Oh,
I still to this day love them. I love White Castle so much I'll get the stupid little boxes of them at the grocery store because
I lived on those in school. Yep.
They're not even close to the same thing. I think the last time I had it was before Will was born. We stopped in Louisville, Kentucky, and we were staying overnight at a hotel, and Gretchen's like, "Oh, we can just go out and get stuff," and she got like Qdoba or something. Like, I don't want that. And I was looking up around, and I was like, "Ooh, there's a White Castle down the road. I want to get a Crave case," and I didn't. I backed out of. I got like 5 or 10 burgers still, but give me a Crave case. I will power through that. That used to be our. Now I'm starting to drool and
a little mouth-watering,
salivate.
Right.
Yeah, thinking about.
We can turn this into an ASMR podcast real quick.
But that used to be our. That would be kind of like our family road trip thing, where when we would go to Ohio to visit family, it was like every summer because both of my mom's sister and my dad's sister both live out in Ohio, so we would go out there and to visit, and we would stop in Indiana to get White Castle. Now, the thing about the Indiana White Castle, now my parents always talked about the Chicago White Castle. They would have the ketchup and mustard mixed together
I
as
didn't know
one.
that.
Yes, supposedly that's what it was, or at least that's what I remember them telling me. And Indiana's White Castle, they would put a horseradish sauce on it. Absolutely disgusting. I remember always had to like scrape off the burgers, but the burgers still were so good. And we would get like 2 Crave cases of those, and that would be like my breakfast for our time when we were visiting. I remember I'd like just go to the Crave case, grab a couple burgers, throw them in the microwave, heat them up, and they would come out nice and soft. Oh, they were so perfect with the onions and everything just like cooked in them. The square burgers with the holes in them. Oh man, I'm I'm salivating.
Getting hungry just thinking about it, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Man. Yeah, I know. Too bad we don't have any in Stoughton, but I absolutely love White Castle. And it's a crime that there's none in Wisconsin, but it's just the way it is sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll be honest, like I don't think we ever really got White Castle as kids, like when we would stop somewhere. Occasionally maybe, but like I remember I liked their chicken rings as a kid. But going back to the burgers and the frozen ones, I remember my mom would buy us the frozen ones and I would eat those for lunch all the time. I'd heat them up. Yeah. But now again, going back to show you how much growth I've made as an adult, I used to, as a kid, I would heat it up and scrape all the onions off because onions were gross as a child.
Yep.
But now, like I know for a while, I don't know if they still sell them because I haven't bought them from the grocery store in a long time, but they used to have like a jalapeno cheddar White Castle one you could buy.
I think I've still seen those out there.
Those are pretty good. I haven't had those in forever. But yeah, I never realized it was not nationwide. I thought that was just like kind of like the McDonald's equivalent growing up. So then as I learned, like people would freak out about it. Like I know, not freak out about it, but like be really excited. Like I remember when your parents were coming out, once we moved out here, they're like, oh, there's a White Castle like within 15 minutes of your house. I'm like, yeah, okay, why? And they're like, that's a big deal. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So when they do stop by and they pick up a Crave case and they bring it back, I'm like, well, I'm not going to complain. Like, this is good eating. So, good choice. I like it.
Yeah, the closest one growing up was like in St. Charles. So it's a Chicago thing. It wasn't even in Rockford. So yeah, it was a big deal to when my dad would be out as an insurance adjuster. He would be out in Chicago. I'm going to be out there. It'd be a couple places, and when sometimes he would come back with a Crave case, and it was like
it's like hitting the lottery.
Yes, all right, here we go. And then being in high school, being able to eat like almost an entire one to myself, it was always great. But yeah, so
very good.
White Castle number 2.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice.
All right, Justin, what is your number 1?
All right, my number 1, arguably one of my favorite restaurants, started in Chicago. I believe it's in Arizona as well now, or maybe California. In Madison, Wisconsin, just got one last year or 2 years ago. I know my parents were very excited because they missed it being from Chicago.
They have
area.
2 now, Justin. I know exactly which one you're, because this is my number 1 too.
Oh, man, Vinny, we think alike. And that is Portillo's. Portillo's. Yep. I can honestly say I've never had a bad meal from Portillo's, number 1. Number 2, their catering service, being able to eat Portillo's for catering for parties when you have big parties is amazing. I'm going to go through the menu right here. Number 1, this is probably not, maybe it's a little controversial, but one of my favorite things from Portillo's is the chopped salad. Vinny, have you ever had the chopped salad?
I have not, but I think Gretchen's had it before.
It's good. So you got the bacon, the gorgonzola cheese, the noodles, the chicken. But what makes it is their house dressing. It is so good. I probably get that the most when I go there, and that's not even probably what they're known for. But highly recommend that. Their cheeseburgers are really good. Like
they're
really,
very
really
underrated.
Good. Very underrated. Like when you think of Portillo's, you don't think cheeseburgers, but they're really. I don't know what it is. Hot dogs. Yes, that's it. Hot dogs are great. The Italian beef with some hot peppers. And if you get it, ask for it dipped. They'll dip it in the juice.
Yep.
Makes it super soggy, but it's so worth it.
Yep.
They just added a spicy chicken sandwich, at least to the menus out here in Illinois. That's really good. Highly recommend that. I remember one time I was there in November, and I got a pumpkin pie milkshake. That was really good.
Ooh,
highly recommend that.
Yeah, their shakes are really good, too.
Their shakes are really good. The chocolate cake You get chocolate cake. You sign up for their membership for free. You get a free chocolate cake slice on your birthday.
I've heard that's very good. I've not had their chocolate cake yet.
It is, but what's interesting, and I had this because a student told me this because he had a family member that worked there, a brother or sister or something. The secret ingredient to making the chocolate cake so moist, which I know a lot of people hate that word, is mayonnaise. They put mayonnaise in it, and it makes it real rich. You don't taste it,
makes sense.
but it kind of like took me aback. I'm like, ugh. But then you take another bite of the cake and you're like, oh, I don't give a shit what's in this. This is amazing. I'm just gonna keep eating it. So, and what else? I think that it does. Oh, the beef and cheddar, really good too. Underrated beef and cheddar croissant. I think.
Okay,
that's really good as well. I know that's like your sister's number one thing that she gets there. Cheese fries, onion rings. Man, this is like, maybe this weekend we're gonna have to hit up Portillo's now that I'm talking about it. But
yeah.
I will say, whoever runs the Portillo's drive-thrus needs to be in charge of our government because that is so well managed. They have that thing down to a T. There will be like 25 cars in the drive-thru, and it's still, well, it takes a little bit longer because there's a lot of people, but nothing, at least knock on wood, to my knowledge, at least with us, nothing ever gets mixed up. Nothing ever is cooked wrong. It's never the wrong order. So credit to those folks out there that are doing that, especially when it's really cold because they stand out there. If you have not had Portillo's, you need to find yourself one. Or you can order it nationwide, and they will send you the frozen beef now. So highly recommend Portillo's.
Yep. That is a great number one. That's my number one. And that'd be another thing my dad would get. He would get our orders in the morning when he would go out to Chicago. And then it was like all day at school, all I'm thinking about, I'm getting Portillo's for dinner. You have to go to soccer practice and everything. I'm like, oh, damn it. All I want to do is go home and eat. And my dad's got it sitting there in the cooler, just simmering. And yeah, you get that Italian beef. You get it dipped. Oh, yeah. It just, especially after he brings it from Chicago, a 2-hour drive, you're just sitting there in the juices and like you grab it and just falls apart, but you're just shoving it in your mouth and it's so damn good. I like you said, never had a bad meal there.
No.
And I've had a lot, the burgers. I guess I haven't had like the beef and cheddar or the salad or anything like that or any other chicken sandwiches yet. I guess that should be my mission, is to try to find something bad on their menu. But yeah, the hot dogs are so good. The burgers are so underrated. That's one of my favorite burgers.
Yes, I would argue. I would agree.
And yeah, the Italian beef is fantastic. So, and their shakes, those are good too. Man,
so good. Yeah, I feel like the broiled chicken sandwich, which I don't know what. Well, I know what a broiler does, and I know what a broiler is in a stove. It's where you store all the pans. But I don't know what the difference is between broiling and grilling, but their broiled chicken sandwich is also very good as well. Highly would recommend that too.
Okay.
So
I'm going to have to try that out.
Yeah, if you live somewhere in Illinois or in Madison or in Arizona, California, or like I said, or if you want really good Italian beef, order it. They'll ship it to you. Arguably one of the best restaurants all around. It's great.
Yep.
And I love the motif inside, too. It's like all old-timey 50s.
Well, they're all different.
Oh, is it really? I did not realize that. Okay, that's how the
say,
Oak Lawn and New Lenox one works. I don't know.
A lot of them, I guess, are similar. There are a few that are different. I know the one that where it was kind of down the street from my dad's old house that he grew up at. I know exactly which one you're talking about in Crestwood. Yeah, that one's they have like a Superman coming out. It's like more
it's more pop
culture-ish.
Yeah,
they have like a train up ahead above everything. I love that one because I thought the train was so cool. There's one out I think in the St. Charles area that's like a mobster one. And there's so it's like more like bootlegging Al Capone style.
Sure.
And they got like fake bullet holes in the mirrors in the bathroom and stuff like that. So some of them do have a theme
have different
to
setups.
them.
Okay.
But yeah, most of them do have like that 50s type of feel to it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy that we both agreed on the same one. That makes me feel better about my choice. But yeah, like so good. So good. All right.
Yep.
We have to, first off, we are so thankful. We had a ton of people write in, so let's get to those and then call it a night. Vinny, what do you say?
Do you have any honorable mentions that you want to get to first?
No, this one, I do not have any honorable mentions.
Okay. I got a couple. I got
what do you got?
4 here. KFC, Wendy's, McDonald's, and Popeyes. Have you ever had Popeyes?
I have. They got good biscuits.
I've only had it once, and it was. I remember
Changed
the
your
fries
world.
being. The fries were so good. I didn't have it. I haven't had it. I wanted to have it this week to just like see is it as good as I remember. But I came down with a cold and I can't really taste anything. Yeah. Like it's got a sinus infection, so it's one of those things where taste is kind of hard to come by.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it's probably not a good idea to throw $8 down the drain on a meal that I'm not gonna be able to fully enjoy. But I remember their fries being very good, one of my favorite fast food fries. So it made honorable mention. I almost wanted to put it at 5, but Taco Bell I just know I've enjoyed that a lot. It was a go-to. So so that was number 5 for me. But that's my honorable mentions.
Good choice. All right. Trent wrote in. He said, I don't know if this would count, but Pizza Hut is a favorite. Culver's too. Love their chicken strips. Jimmy John's, Wendy's, and Quiznos are all top tier. I remember we had a Quiznos out by us, but that closed. I didn't even know they were still around, to be honest. I do love me some Jimmy John's. Yeah.
Freeport, and it's like Quiznos' big thing was their toasted subs, and as soon as Subway did that, no one wanted to pay $12 for a sub when they can go to Subway and get it for $5.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Jimmy John's is great. I love I think it's called an unwich. It's where it's all the stuff, but it's wrapped up in lettuce. That's really good. Get a turkey one there. Good pick. Thank you, Trent, for writing in.
Yeah. And Pizza Hut does count because our Pizza Hut in Stoughton has a drive-through. So
does it really?
There you go.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
I love Pizza Hut still to this day.
It's good. Yeah, it's all right.
I missed the lunch pizza bar though. That was I loved that as a kid.
Yep, that was Gretchen's favorite. I mean, Pizza Hut's it's good for what it is, but
exactly.
It's
it's not the end of the world, but yeah, it's good for what it is.
Nope. And that'd be another topic we can discuss is pizza chains and ranking pizza chains. We can't do local ones because then it gets difficult, but it's got to be a chain. So
all right, I'm writing this down. I will add that to the spreadsheet of all of our other things. All right,
there we go. Steve writes in, Arby's is my number 1. And all I could think about when I read that one was the Simpson references to Arby's. Was it like Homer's like trying to keep down like this green goo, I think the Treehouse of Horror or something like that. And he goes, if I can keep down Arby's, I can keep you down. I don't have, do you have a love for Arby's? I
never had it until probably like 10 years ago. It's good. Your sister loves it. She is insane about Arby's.
I used to love Arby's growing up, and then I got food poisoning off of it one night. And I couldn't think about it without getting like wanting to throw up. So
there's no mouth watering after that
forever.
Okay.
Yep.
That's it's not bad. I like their curly fries. All right. Chris, that reminds me, we gotta talk to Chris. I know he was one that we were thinking about having him on for the prediction show, so we'll have to talk about that. All right, Chris says Riccobenni's breaded steak sandwich. I have not been to Riccobenni's in forever. Rosie's,
haven't been there either.
And your sister took me there for the first time. I had never been there until we started dating.
Really?
Rosie's, yes, really, yes. I remember going down there, and this was before I had my anxiety medicine, so I was all nervous about being down there. And you have to park under. You have to park under not a viaduct, but an overpass from a highway. Yeah, the bridge.
Yep.
So, I was a little nervous, but then once we got in there and we started eating food, I was like, this is heaven. I'm good. So, and now I would just love to go back in general. So he said Riccobenni's. This one was one. If you're from Oak Lawn, you know this, and that is Rosie's, right next to Arena Bowling Alley. One of my buddies used to go there all the time. I never have eaten at Rosie's, and I lived there for 26 years before we moved out here.
Okay.
What else? Al's Beef, Maxwell Street, double cheeseburger. Al's Beef, Italian beef sandwich. Empanadas. Bacon and egg empanada. Notable mentions. In a rush, he likes McDonald's. If he's under the influence, he likes Taco Bell. And the consistency and quality, he would go to Panda Express. Thank you, Chris.
I like all the local ones from Chris there. I mean, I wouldn't call Riccobenni's fast food. I call it good food quickly. But
Okay.
I remember going to Rickabenny's after like Chicago Fire games when they used to play. I guess they're back there now at Soldier Field, but when they first started out at Soldier Field, my dad used to take us there. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
that take us there after the games, and it's fantastic. So good pick on that one. Let's see, is that Nabil?
I believe it is.
Am I saying that right? All right. Nabil wrote in and they said, my all-time favorite is Shake Shack, but I'm sad how pricey it is. Other favorites include Culver's, Five Guys, and Chipotle. Yeah, I think I've gotten a shake at Shake Shack, which was good. But yeah, I've never eaten at a Shake Shack. How about you, Justin?
No, and they actually just opened one up. They opened one up in Oak Lawn. We were out there for some stuff recently, and I saw it. I'm like, that definitely wasn't here when I was a kid. So, no, I have never been there. But good choices with Culver's and Chipotle and Five Guys. So, all right, my lovely wife Erica writes in, the Steak and Shake cheese fries are her favorite. Wisconsin's Culver's cheese curds. She still talks about this to this day. The McDonald's bacon habanero cheeseburger, which they sadly discontinued, and she loves their egg McMuffin.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, I remember she got me hooked on those. Those were good. White Castle sliders, cheese sliders, loaded fries, also Arby's double beef and cheddar, and Little Caesars or Hungry Howie's pizza. I do like Little Caesars. I know it's awful, but I love it.
Hungry Howie's pizza. Where was that? Oak Lawn?
I'm thinking it might have been an ISU thing, maybe.
Yeah,
because I don't think it's an Oak Lawn thing.
Okay,
but yeah, I remember her talking about that, and yeah, I loved Little Caesars, the $5 hot and ready pizza. When we lived in Oak Lawn, there was Little Caesars nearby. That was like
their pizza stinks.
Well, maybe it's
got to be the worst. That's got to be the worst of the chain pizzas.
I don't know. If we do that, that's going to be high on my list. I'm not going to lie. Ooh. And then the crazy bread is so good.
The crazy bread's good, but their pizza's just garbage. It's like cardboard. I'm sorry, it's bad.
It's good
it's not that
cardboard.
Good. Yeah, I guess so.
There goes the Little Caesars sponsor I had worked out, Vinny. Thank you.
Right, sorry. It's like what's it? Alfredo's pizza tastes like garbage or trash. Yeah.
Would you like a lot of pizza that's just okay, or a medium amount of good pizza? A medium amount of good pizza. Yeah. No, Little Caesars, I love it.
Although if someone's going to get me a lot of pizza, and it's going to be, if they're like, oh, I got an all-you-can-eat Little Caesars buffet, or you got to pay $12 for a small pizza of good pizza, I'll probably take the all-you-can-eat pizza.
Oh, yeah, I'll take the all-you-can-eat,
Little Caesars.
Yeah.
So I'm not that picky. But yeah, it's got to be the worst of the chains. All right, moving on. Greg H. writes in, number 1, Burger King, because the Rodeo Burger and the Whopper are fantastic. Yeah, I remember the Rodeo Burger.
I remember the Rodeo Burger, too.
The fried, or like the onion
barbecue
strings,
sauce,
right?
Yeah, and onion strings. Yeah.
Yep. That was good. That was like a go-to in college on Sundays. Okay. We would get that and then watch the Bears lose. Number 2, McDonald's, because you can get absolute steals using the app. I don't use the app.
I've never done that
start
before.
Using the app.
Yeah.
He said, too bad it's so glitchy, unlike the other fast food apps. Number 3, Panda Express, because their orange chicken is delicious. The best that's not a chain is Buenos Nachos.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard
He's
of that.
taken me there.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Is that just the Chicago local place?
I think it's just, it might be, I don't even know if there's more than one location. I always just assumed it was just the one location by us, but it's good. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, great tacos, nachos, elote, and horchata. He loves his horchata. He gets that every time.
What is horchata?
It is a Mexican drink. It is generally,
is that the stuff that's in the bottle? Like
milk soaked with, it's sweetened milk.
Never mind.
With different spices and stuff. So there you go. All right.
Never
let's
had
see.
that.
Okay, the entire family from Mark and Melissa wrote in, your cousins, and I guess technically they're my cousins too, through marriage. Melissa wrote in and said, Buena beef or anywhere with a pizza puff. I have never had, or is it Bona beef? Maybe it's Bona beef. I think it's Bona beef. I've never had Bona beef. Have you ever had Bona beef?
I have not.
Okay, I know they've sprung up recently. I'm assuming it's kind of like maybe like a smaller Portillo's kind of, or quicker Portillo's. I've never had it though. And then Mark said Chipotle, which I know he and I have gone to get Mexican food in the past. And then their kids, Gwen, Charlie, and Katie Bacon said McDonald's and Culver's. All right.
Okay. No, okay. The pizza puff. What do you know what that is? What is a pizza puff? Because I hear that all the time on the score. I've never had one. I don't know. All I know a pizza puff is the Tortino's pizza puff, and that does not sound like what they are talking about on the radio.
A regular pizza puff's a little bit more flaky. Okay, so take a pizza, roll it, double it over it on itself, and you got a pizza puff. I mean, to varying degrees of decency. Like, I remember that was a big thing in high school. That was always one of the top items in our cafeteria, was like a pizza puff. Usually, I don't think there's usually a lot of meat. I want to say it's mostly just like cheese, but I assume you could get meat in them. I don't know. I haven't had one in a long time, but that does sound really good.
Is it like a calzone?
Yes, very similar. Very similar.
Okay.
Just maybe a little bit more flakier, a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter maybe, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right. I really want to try one of those because,
highly recommend it.
Delicious.
I'm surprised Quick Trip doesn't have them, to be honest. That seems like a Quick Trip thing.
No, it's a Chicago thing. It's not a Wisconsin
I did not know
thing.
That. Okay.
Yeah.
Aha.
So, Greg F. writes in, Culver's mushroom burger with a side of cheese curds is amazing. And fries. Yes. I would say all those are really good.
All right, Michael writes in. He says, I have an unnatural affinity for Burger King. I literally only know one other person who likes it at all, but it's my all-time favorite for cheap, quick food. Yeah, the Burger King mascot is weird, and I still can't believe they made 3 Burger King video games with him in them. But
I remember that.
Burger King, the chicken sandwiches. I really like the chicken sandwiches. I used to get, I think I got a Junior Whopper a couple times. Their chicken tenders when I was a kid were my favorite. They were really good.
Didn't they have like a kids, like, weren't their mascots way back in the day like a bunch of kids or something like that?
Yes, the BK Club maybe. But yes, they had really good. Yeah, I do remember those. Yeah, they had some cool stuff. I remember getting those when I was a kid, getting whatever their Happy Meal equivalent was. So.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
Carl writes in, everyone in the Mid-South knows of Brahms ice cream. It's the GOAT.
I have no idea. I had to look this up. It's a chain. I don't know what it is, though. I've never heard of it. So we'll have to.
Interesting. I've never heard of that either.
All right. Our buddy Zach in the chat. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he wrote in and said, we only have a McDonald's and a Dairy Queen and Subway where I live, which I really don't mind. But when I go out of town, I will eat any fast food that isn't one of those 3. Okay, that makes sense. I totally get that. You kind of get inundated with the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, with Dairy Queen, that's another good one.
Dairy Queen's a good one, yeah.
Their ice cream, their blizzards. I used to, in high school, like the moo lattes that they would have, which is just like ice cream kind of coffee.
Yes.
Those were really good. Yeah, so Dairy Queen's yep.
Do you remember that Dairy Queen's like mascots used to be the Dennis the Menace kids? Do you remember that? Maybe you were too young,
that was back in the day. Vaguely do I remember that.
That was like when we would drive up to Wisconsin Dells, there was a Dairy Queen right when you got into the Dells, and we would always stop there to get lunch before we'd go to like the hotel or the water park or whatever to check in. So that's what I think of. There wasn't a Dairy Queen anywhere within like 25 minutes of me growing up, so I never really got a chance to get it very often, but it was good. I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice. Jaybird writes in number 5, Potbellies, which is a weird one. Number 4, Gyro. God,
Vinny.
I'm struggling right now. Euro Shack. Number 3, Joey Red Hots.
Good
number
choice.
2, Portillo's. Number 1, Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, I do like.
Justin, are you a big Chick-fil-A fan?
It's decent. I love their waffle fries. Waffle fries are my favorite type of fries of all time, so I do like that. And I think they have.
Interesting.
There used to be one close to before I left my last district. There was one nearby, so occasionally I would stop there and get lunch get dinner there for conference days and stuff. And like they had I think it was like the grilled chicken bites, which were really good. I liked those, but yeah, we don't really have one near us, so it's not one that I really hit up too frequently anymore.
Okay. Now Potbellies, that's pretty much just like another variation of like Panera Bread, isn't it?
It's kind of like a Panera, but more like sub sandwiches. Which I guess Panera has sub sandwiches too, but it's a little bit more of that. But it's good. Like I've had a lot of good food there. I don't mind it. So, Dr. Mantis writes in Popeyes, Culver's, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, and number 1 Portillo's. Good choice.
Nice. Shout out to Dr. Mantis. He just him and his wife just had their second child today.
Congratulations, so. Dr. Mantis.
Yeah.
Very well
Not going
done.
to have much time for fast food, or I guess more time now for fast food now that they got 2 kids.
Not going to have time for sausage pizzas anymore, I would imagine, either, right?
No, I'm assuming the sausage pizza will probably have to stop for a bit there.
Yeah.
Keith writes in, lava sauce is coming back to Taco Bell. I could make a movie about that if I had the budget and actors and a set and cameras and approval from Taco Bell. Well, you got a lot of work to do there, Keith. But I can't. When did they have lava sauce? I always remember fire sauce. I remember
fire
lava
sauce. You're asking the wrong guy. I honestly have no idea. I remember fire sauce, but I never knew about lava sauce. But I'd imagine I'd like it. I mean,
I'm intrigued. Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
It does. All right, Pretzel Vince writes in. He says, number 5, Sir Senor Taco. Best steak tacos, no longer by Midway Airport. They got bought out when Midway expanded. Number 4, Cracker Barrel. Vinny, is Cracker Barrel fast food?
No, it's a sit-down restaurant, for Pete's sakes.
That's
not even like a Rico Benny's Good Food Quickly, or like a place where you get the food quick. Yeah, that I wouldn't know. Cracker Barrel is a sit-down restaurant. It's like saying, "Oh, my favorite fast food place is Olive Garden." Like, that's essentially what it is. Like, it's a sit-down restaurant. They even have a store before you get to the restaurant. They make you buy stuff before you get to the restaurant. But yeah, no, Cracker Barrel, get out of here with that.
All right, fair enough. Number 3, Popeyes. Number 2, Portillo's, and number 1, White Castle. I kind of assumed that would be his number 1.
Yeah, those are all good except for Cracker Barrel. What? I'm confused by that. In what world do you think Cracker Barrel is a fast food restaurant? They have them on the side of the road as like a pit stop for families to get out and stretch their legs. Come in our store, walk around for a bit before you sit down at our restaurant. Nobody's going there and saying, "Hey, can I have an order of the pancakes with some syrup to go?" No one's doing that. Get out of here. Frustrating.
So just to be clear, not fast food.
No, not fast food.
All right. Good. Okay.
All right. Lynn writes in, Culver's is my go-to, usually to get their ice cream of the day along with a kid's burger and fries. We go to McDonald's a lot when traveling. Love the Big Mac. White Castle. Wish they had one by us. When we travel, we get a crave case and munch all the way home. Portillo's. Love the beef dipped in au jus. Steak and Shake. Shakes are the best. One year we went there for Mother's Day. Oh. LOL. Steak and Shake's pretty good. I like their fries are good because I feel like their fries are really thin. They're like those shoestring type fries. So that Steak and Shake's kind of underrated, I feel like. So good choices.
I've only been to Steak and Shake twice actually, but it was good. The shakes were very good too. All right, Vinny, we've made it through another show. I'm starving.
Oh God, you're telling me I'm gonna have to go out to lunch tomorrow and order.
Yeah, I'm already like trying to figure out like I might even have to stop and get like something for breakfast tomorrow because McDonald's
might have to go to Quick Trip for that.
Yes, I'm gonna try. Yeah, that sounds pretty good actually. All right, well, we've made it through another show. Thank you for listening. Again, subscribe to YouTube, youtube.com/baseball and whatever. You can find us on Twitter at baseball and what. We're also on Instagram at baseball and whatever and TikTok at baseball and whatever. You can email the show at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com. Like, share, and subscribe all of our podcasts on your podcast app of choice. And shoot us a text or leave us a voicemail at 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. All right, we will be back next week. We'll see what hijinks we can get into. But until then, we'll see you next time here on Baseball and Whatever. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
See ya.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.